Hello, hello, hello. You're joining me live. I'm so sorry that I'm late today, but as you all know, it's Super Bowl Sunday. And before we get started, I'm getting ready to call my family in California just to let them know I feel their pain. I feel their pain. I feel their pain. Hopefully, they answer the phone. Let's see. Everybody must be in tears. Nobody's answering the phone, or either they broke the phone. Nope, no answer. Okay, disregard. I'll call later. All right, so because we're getting started late, I'm normally done by now, but we're gonna put this together real quick. I just want to explain what I have already and what we're cooking. We're actually making vegan Thai curry, coconut curry with lots of vegetables. Of course, no meat. It's a vegan dish. All right, so I've already started my prepping. We're doing spaghetti squash as the pasta or the base. All right, so I already cooked that, and I did leave one uncooked just so that I can help you guys if you've never made spaghetti squash. This is what a spaghetti squash look like. Purchasing it from the grocery store raw and uncooked. All right, it's really not so easy to cut up, and that's why I really hate making squash because it's the cut up process is not so easy. But let's head over to the kitchen. I'm gonna wash this off. I'm sorry, to the sink. Get this washed off, and I'll show you how to cut it and clean out the inside and throw it in the oven. All right. So I use just a little bit of dishwasher liquid to clean the outside and clean it in hot water. Right, so we got all the soap off of there. Let me get my cutting board real quick so I don't chop up my counter. Bring it over here for me real quick. All right, so we got a nice clean spaghetti squash. You're gonna cut this in half lengthwise. And like I said, it's not easy to cut that up. You gotta put some muscle in it.
Wash your fingers.
I'm a pro. The last thing I want to do is get my fingers cut up on live. That wouldn't be nice. Don't let your kids do this. This is an adult process. All right. Use a cutting board so you don't mess up your counter. Getting it past this little seed.
Use the blades. Run it back and forth.
I done cut up a bunch of them. It's okay. I got it. All right. So this is what it looks half. And I usually just take a bag. And scrape the insides. You can roast these seeds here. Those are the seeds that you can make. I don't want to call them pumpkin seeds, it's squash seeds, but they taste very similar. All right, but I don't want to keep those this time. I'm gonna just scrape this out.
You just eat them like peanuts.
No, you have to roast them. They like pumpkin seeds. You've had pumpkin seeds before, right?
Okay.
The white seeds with all the salt. Most of the time it's like really salty, but you can roast them without adding salt. All right, so that one is clean. I've already preheated my oven, but I preheated the oven for my breads. So I'm not gonna throw this squash in the oven just yet until my breads are done, but I just want to show you guys the process of preparing this. You're gonna bake it on 400 degrees for 1 hour. 400 degrees for 1 hour. Okay, so all right, and you see the little strings? This is basically what it is. It's spaghetti squash. So once it's done, it's all spaghetti-like texture. Okay, so we're gonna throw this in the garbage. All right, and we're gonna use 1 tablespoon of grapeseed oil or any kind of high temperature oil to coat it. All right, and then I also use just a pinch of sea salt and black pepper. Not even a teaspoon. And just a few dashes of black pepper. I'm sorry, and I meant to spread my oil around first. I'm kind of in a rush because I'm hungry and we didn't prepare food before Super Bowl, so I took a nap. I'm really not excited about this team or those teams. Kansas City won, if you guys didn't know. Last minute, those are always the best times to watch too. The last of the games, the last few minutes, because they were losing almost the whole game, and then they came back and scored a touchdown, and then another touchdown, and then an interception. So they took it home. All right, so this is all you need to do to prepare this spaghetti squash. Put oil in it, massage it real good. A pinch of salt to your liking, maybe a teaspoon of salt on each side, kosher salt, sea salt, and then a dash of black pepper. And then you want to cook it upside down in your pan. So you'll turn it upside down and you place it in the oven again at 400 degrees for 1 hour. Okay, but we're not putting that in the oven right now. Move this out of my way. And we're gonna get started with our Thai coconut curry. Okay, so we want our fire on medium-high heat. And we're gonna start off with 4 tablespoons of grapeseed oil. All right, and we are sauteing ginger. I think I have 2 teaspoons of ginger here. I do have 2 teaspoons of ginger. And then I'm also going to add about 2 teaspoons of garlic. And I didn't measure that out yet. So, where's my garlic? 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons. I might throw some more garlic. Yeah, I'm gonna do another teaspoon of garlic. You guys know I love garlic. All right. So we're gonna cook that for about a minute or so. And once we get some of the flavor out and into the oil, we're gonna add 1 whole onion. And I have 1 whole red bell pepper, 1 yellow bell pepper, and 1 orange bell pepper. We have the sweet ones today. All right. So I'm gonna let that just cook for just a moment. I have water boiling here because I want to throw some vegetables in there. I want to throw my pea pods and my broccoli in there. So I'm just letting that water come to a boil, and then we're going to add that in. In the oven, I have my oven heated at 425, and I already have my cast iron skillet. We're making farinata bread. Farinata bread is a Italian flatbread, but it's made with chickpea flour, an equal amount of water. Usually they just use salt, but I use Italian seasoning and paprika in mine. So that's what mine is seasoned with already. It does have to sit for 2 hours to allow the gas to evaporate from the chickpea flour, because again, chickpeas are garbanzo beans or basin. For the Indian culture, they refer to it as basin flour. All right, so I've already prepared my mixture. It's been sitting here for several hours, but it only needs to sit for 2 hours at the most. And it also has 2 tablespoons of oil, grapeseed oil here. All right, so that's long enough. I'm going to add my onion and pepper mixture. And I just have it sliced the long way. It's not cubed. And the same thing for my peppers. All right, so we're gonna let that cook down some. All right, Trey, and I don't know if Keisha's joining today. I know she was going to a party tonight, so I'm still going live because I said I would go live, but I'm sure we'll get some views throughout the week. If you guys have any questions after the video has already done with the live stream, just shoot me a message and I'll be more than happy to get back and answer those questions for you. All right, so let that cook down some. And I'm actually, shout out to my friend Darlene. I'm actually meal prepping for 2. My girlfriend Darlene gave me a call. She wanted me to meal prep for her, so I'm making hers now. And then once hers is done, I gotta run it to her house. She's ready to eat also. Actually, she stopped by earlier and she had some of the food that I made earlier in the week. So I did feed her, but her meal prep wasn't ready because of the Super Bowl game. All right. So while that's doing this thing, you have to let your oil for the bread heat up. Your skillet has to be really, really hot so that you can have a really crispy flatbread. All right, so mine has already been in there for about maybe 10 minutes or so. And again, you have to use a high temperature oil. I have grapeseed oil in here. You don't want to use olive oil because olive oil will burn. It will be very smoky and messy. So high temperature oil. Okay, so be careful as you pour your mixture in. All right, and it's going to be like the consistency of like a pancake. You just want to spread it evenly throughout the pan. All right, it's already sizzling and cooking on the bottom. And have a nice crispy bottom. Just spread it out nice and even. And then you're going to throw it back in the oven and be very careful because, like I said, that cast iron skillet is very, very hot. All right. So, go back in for our vegetables. All right. And I am adding mushrooms. I have regular Bella mushrooms for her. But my dish will have the oyster mushroom. She's not a huge mushroom fan. I am, so I didn't want to go drastic with her. All right, so we've already rinsed those and throw those in. All right, so you guys know I like to cook my mushrooms before I add my sauces because mushrooms add a lot of liquid. So we want that liquid to cook off first before we start our any of our sauces. We don't want it to be very liquidy. This is going to be a curry, kind of thick and with coconut milk. So we're going to let the juices release from the mushrooms and then be absorbed in the heat. All right, so while that's doing its thing, actually, and don't forget to set the timer. Your bread needs to cook for about 10 minutes. So let's set the timer for 10 minutes. All right, and let's go ahead and throw our broccoli.
If you can, try not to talk in slow motion.
Our broccoli and pea pods in. Play the feedback for the viewers so it don't be on our video. All right, so I am just going to steam these vegetables. All right, we have as many as we can fit in there. And I am going to put on my handy dandy gloves so I don't get a steam burn on the vegetables. And we're just going to sit that inside of our water. And we're going to let that steam for about 5 minutes or so. All right, let's see how our vegetables are doing. And I'm going to raise my fire up just a little bit more. So my temperature is on high heat. Now we cook them with some fire. All right. What else can I be doing in the meantime? Oh, side note, we're making sweet potatoes as one of the side dishes. Side note, side dish. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and saute the sweet potatoes to go in the oven after the bread is done. I am that person that takes all these bags, and maybe I'm sorry, not all these bags, the bags from the grocery store, because I reuse them. So that may be why we have to pay 7 cents for a bag in Chicago. All right. So we're gonna start with the first batch of sweet potatoes. I have it sitting in cold water so they wouldn't turn brown while we were watching the game. As you know, if you peel potatoes and just let it sit, the air will turn brown. Okay. All right, so let's pour these in the bag. And then we're going to add about 3 tablespoons of oil to coat. 1, 2, 3. All right, and we're going to use about let's do about 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. And of course, we're going to use some onion powder and Italian seasoning. I'm going to do about 2 also. And actually, I may double that because I actually have about 6 potatoes here. So I put 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning. Let's put 2 more in there. And I'm gonna go back and add, it's only a little bit left, so I'll dump that in there. But that was 2. So a total of 4 teaspoons of Italian seasoning. I already put 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, so I'm gonna put 2 more. And then the same thing for sea salt. So that's 1. Actually, I'm just gonna use 2 teaspoons of salt. All right, and I think that's all I want to put in there. Did I do my onion powder? No, I did not. I did not do my onion powder. And we need to open up a new thing of onion powder. I do my teaspoon tree. So we're gonna do 4 teaspoons of onion powder. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So we got everything in there. Mix that around. Make sure everything is well coated. And looks pretty good to me. Maybe let's put the light on there. I'm gonna put about another 2 tablespoons of oil just to make sure. What did we put in there before? 4. I think I put 4 before. Let's do 2 more. So we want to make sure that the potatoes are well coated. Okay. All right. That should be perfect. Perfect. That's how we want our potatoes to look before they go in the oven. So once my breads are done, then I'll start working on the potatoes, and then I'll go to that last squash because I already have squash prepared. All right, so we're going back over here to the vegetables, and like I said, there's that liquid that's being released from the mushrooms. I'm gonna let that cook down some more. And actually, we're gonna use some of that liquid to dissolve our Thai paste, the curry Thai paste. All right, so I have 4 teaspoons of Thai paste here. I'm gonna mix that in there. And it takes just a minute for that to dissolve. So we're gonna use that liquid to dissolve that paste. You wanna make sure you get that really, really dissolved, because the last thing you wanna do is eat a chunk of that paste. It would not be nice or good. All right, so mix that all together. And as you can see, it still hasn't dissolved completely. All right, we're gonna add some liquid to it now to help it. So I'm gonna open up a can of, actually I have 1 can of coconut already open here. So I'm gonna pour in a can of coconut milk to help it dissolve some. All right, look at that, and it smells so good. And we're gonna put another can of coconut milk in once we get the flavor that we're looking for. And I'm also gonna use 2 cups of vegetable broth. And I did put the ingredients in the link, on my Facebook and on my Twitter. I will add another link on YouTube so that you guys will know what's needed to complete this. All right, I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of curry powder. All right, and we're gonna use, I usually use lemongrass, but I could not find lemongrass, and I didn't want to go to a bunch of different stores. I went to Whole Foods, which is where I normally get it, and they didn't have it. So I used the juice of lime to substitute the lemongrass. So this is 5 tablespoons of lemon juice. Okay. And now we're gonna add our vegetable broth and another can of, and our bread is done. I'm gonna give it about 2 more minutes. So 12 minutes on the bread, and it depends on your oven. Your oven may cook faster or slower, so just adjust it as it goes. The bottom is definitely brown, which is like I like it, but I want the top to get a little bit more browner on the top. Okay. So this is 2 cups of vegetable broth. And then we're going to add 1 more cup of coconut milk. Now I've already cleaned the tops of my cans. I always do. I suggest you guys do the same. I usually have them open already, but this Super Bowl game has me off my square. All right. All right, so we're gonna let that thicken up a little bit. Just let it sit and do what it does. Once that's done, we're gonna add our vegetables, and I'm actually gonna transfer everything to the big pot to make it a little bit easier because I have a lot of veggies going in. I have my broccoli, my pea pods. I have 2 heads of broccoli and a package. It's probably like a quarter pound, maybe a couple handfuls of pea pods, and some kale greens going in there. All right, so we got tons of vegetables. And I'm gonna go ahead and give this a taste. And actually, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot one of my very, very, very important ingredients. I have 2 tablespoons, actually, yeah, 2 tablespoons of Bragg's, the Bragg's liquid amino, which is the substitute for the soy sauce. And then also I have my date syrup, 2 tablespoons of date syrup instead of the sugar or palm sugar. Palm sugar is one of the sweeteners that is called for with the Thai, any Thai curry dish when you want it sweet and spicy. So I'm not using a regular sugar, I'm using date sugar, and that's 2 tablespoons there. And so make sure to forget everything, and I did not. That's about everything. And my timer went off for my bread, so let's take the bread out. And there we are. That's chickpea frenata. And it's really, really tasty, and it's really good fresh out of the oven when you eat it immediately. Very hot and crispy. The bottom is very crispy, and it's so flavorful. All right, so let's give this a taste. That's really good. Taste that stuff. You like it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think the viewers would like to hear you say yes, but his face shows it all. I don't know why he doesn't want to be heard today. Wasn't his team that played in the Super Bowl, so I know he's not sad about it. All right, so let's take a look at our vegetables. All right, so that's steamed good enough. I don't want it to be soggy. I just wanted it to be partially done before I put it into my vegetables. And I'm gonna pour the water off of this pot so I can use this same pot to finish the dish. Okay. So I'm gonna have you step back just a little bit so you don't get burned by the steam as we transfer. All right. And another thing you can do, this will thicken as it cooks because the coconut milk definitely thickens. But you can add a little cornstarch if it doesn't, if it's not as thick as you'd like. You can use cornstarch or tapioca starch or tapioca powder. They both do the same thing. But if you're not doing corn, then I suggest you use tapioca. All right, so let's go ahead and transfer our veggies over. And then we're also going to add the kale. All right. And we're going to add about a couple handfuls of kale, not a lot. And that's going to shrink down a lot tremendously. All right, so once this is done, you're going to serve this on top of your spaghetti squash. And that will complete the meal. And as I said, we are serving ours with a side of sweet potatoes, but you can use the sweet potatoes as a side dish or a side snack. I'm sorry, not a side dish, but as a snack throughout the day, your midday snack. All right, so we're going to let this cook for a little bit. Our bread is done. We're going to throw the sweet potatoes in the oven, and then I'll come back with you all. The sweet potatoes are going in the oven for 35 minutes on 375. Your bread, I already told you 425 degrees. We did 12 minutes, and that's perfect. And the spaghetti squash is going at 400 degrees for 1 hour. All right, and let me show you the texture. I just want to let you see how your spaghetti squash should look once it's complete. All right. It's a little cool now because it's been sitting. I made it earlier, but you have the consistency of spaghetti. All right. There you go. All right. I'll be back to let you know or see the final product. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like my video and subscribe.